Hey everyone, welcome to the happiest hour on earth again. It is Friday. It's time to just hang out, talk about all things Disney. This week we decided to take on a pretty tough task. We are going to be ranking the top 10 favorite lands in Disneyland Resort and our top 10 in Disney World. This is a very touchy subject, so I really hope that you guys don't hate us for our selections. We don't know what we are ranking each other's as well, so going to be a pretty intense episode tonight, but I'm ready for it. I think
you too.
You're ready? All right,
so.
Let's get the show started.
All right, so tonight we're ranking lands within the parks. It's going to be pretty wild. To accompany us on this adventure, we have the Glowtini.
Yes.
We didn't actually know about this drink until we discussed it with Disney Bar's blog. If you haven't seen that episode, that was a pretty fun one.
So
talking
much
about
fun.
All the drinks in the parks. So this was one of their favorites, and we decided it was time to give it a shot.
Yeah. They were raving about it. Savannah, I think especially, was like, oh my gosh, the Glowtini is like one of her favorites. So
seems to be a favorite. So I think this can be found in
just like, I think there's some resorts, lounges.
Contemporary, I think, is one.
Yeah, there was a bar she talked about.
The Wave.
Is it the Wave? Yeah, I think so. Because Wave and Blue, I remember that she said that was her favorite place to try it. So if you haven't listened to the episode yet, go check it out. Super fun. Hang out and talk with them.
Yeah, it was really fun.
The one bummer is we only have one blue ice cube. We bought those ones on Amazon, and it was like color-changing ice cubes.
One color.
It was just red.
Yeah.
Still looks cool, though.
It does.
Like, it's still,
but this is how it actually should look.
This is how it should look. I insisted that I gave the prettier one to Emily, but she noticed that there was more alcohol in the other one, so she took that one. So I get the pretty one. She gets the crazier one. So
yeah. So
should we try this? I'm so excited to finally try the Glowtini.
I smelled it earlier. I haven't actually tried it, but it smells like it's gonna be really good.
It smells like a Bath and Body Works perfume.
I hope it doesn't taste like that.
I hope it. Passion fruit spray.
That could be a little
Elf.
Yeah. Cheers.
Boom. Cheers. Ooh.
Man.
Ooh.
That is really tasty.
That is really good. That brings me to like Hawaii. And I'm just chilling on the beach. It has a smooth flavor. I feel like some drinks we've made, they're a little too sugary. They're a little
It's sweet. I mean, it's definitely sweet, but like...
But it's not... It's a good balance.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm gonna,
That is super tasty.
That is really tasty.
I like this
I'm a fan. I'm a super big fan of that.
Guys, we understand why you love the Glowtini.
Yeah, I feel you guys. I feel you, Disney Bar's
really
blog.
Good.
Pretty incredible. So, actually, we haven't done a news portion in a very long time.
True.
I'm not gonna go in depth on this, but... the night that we're recording this is Wednesday, Disney has just announced the Disney Genie app, which will be taking over. It sounds very similar to the Max Pass that we had at Disneyland, but it's a little more, AI focused and things like that. So like you just tell the app what you like to do. It will come up with an itinerary for like, I believe each day, certain things to do at certain times to maximize, your day, which is really, really cool. Now, the biggest downfall of this app is that they are retiring Fast Pass and Max Pass and all that good stuff. So now we saw them do this in Disneyland Paris a while back. I mean, just maybe a month, maybe a little bit more. And everyone was nervous. Oh my gosh, are we going to have to pay for a Fast Pass? And that is true. So now there's no longer any free Fast Pass, which is really, really bumming us out. Honestly, and just the name Fast Pass, I think is so classic.
It's iconic.
And so Disney, that not having Fast Pass anymore will be a bummer. Now they're called Lightning Lanes, I believe. So $15 a day at Disney World, $20 a day at Disneyland. So you could get the app for free, but in order to get Disney Genie Plus, that's going to be $20 a day at Disneyland, $15 a day at Disney World. That gives you access to the lightning lanes, one ride at a time. And then, or you could not do the Disney Genie Plus, but if you still want to do a fast pass for a specific ride, you could pay per ride. That cost is going to vary depending on the day, the ride, the park, all that stuff. Honestly, okay, wait. I was gonna say it's a money grab here, getting rid of the fast passes. But other parks, Universal, Magic Mountain, Six Flags, things like that have had this pay for quicker lines for a very long time. So Disney has held off this long, which is good, which is nice, but it still sucks that we're not going to be able to have a free system where we could get fast pass. But the one benefit is, now that it is paid, if you get the lightning lanes, you're practically going to just walk right on. Sometimes fast pass will bottleneck at certain areas and then you still have to wait. If you're getting the Genie Plus and the lightning lanes, that's guaranteed you're going to be walking on. So that's nice. Anyways, I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Very mixed reactions.
Of the paper is good too. I mean,
yeah, that was a lot of paper
a lot of waste. You just use your fast pass and then toss it in the garbage. I think it's good that they're getting rid of that. For sure. I feel you. So, I think that was pretty much it. Should we jump in? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Let's go.
Should we, since you've been already having some cheese, do you want to start with your number one and Disneyland Resort? Right? Number 10. Yeah. So your number starting 10 in Disneyland in California. So there's more than 10 lands in both, but we decided let's make it a little tough. We could only get 10 in each, which was really hard for Disney World because
there's a ton.
Yeah. And so we had to narrow them down. So let's hear your first one.
Okay. So we're starting with Disneyland Resort. So this is going to combine both Disneyland and California Adventure. And we're just kind of ranking all together. Very tough because I love both, obviously, and I love all the lands within both. Mm-hmm. So it's tough to say, but my number 10, because we're working down, is Pixar Pier in California Adventure. It definitely deserved a spot on the list. I feel like I've always loved the pier. When it was Paradise Pier, I loved it, and I still love it now as Pixar Pier. I just love, that walk along the pier, the view of the
it's super nice.
Ferris wheel and Incredicoaster, and just the vibe of it is just it's just like, you just feel good there.
Yeah.
And, obviously loved Cove Bar. We're going to Lamplight Lounge for the first time. Can't wait to experience that. Finally got
reservations, yeah.
But yeah, just that whole pier, I just love it. Not like a favorite spot in either, but still worth putting on the list. So it's number 10 for me.
I like that number 10. That's a solid number 10. That's such a good cracker. Okay. My number 10 is actually going to be Grizzly Peak. Okay. I think this area is, it used to be Condor Flats. Mm-hmm. And I've always loved this area, mainly because of Soarin'. Mm-hmm. Just when you're walking through and you hear that music and you're seeing all these pictures of the aviation people and everything. It's just such an epic moment. And then also as you wind around, you take that left, you see the Grand Californian, and then you see the River Rapids. All that stuff, that area is really cool. And when they changed it to Grizzly Peak, I just loved it so much. This might be on yours too, so you could expand on it there, but it's a peaceful area, and that I think that had to earn a spot on my number or on my list, but it does come in at number 10.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be in there for me somewhere as well, but not quite yet.
Okay.
My number 9 is going to be Hollywoodland. It's definitely a fun place to just walk around and kind of feel the California Adventure vibes. It's just fun walking along that street. And you know, I love Off the Page, the store, and Animation Academy, which are both right there, you know, on the right going down the Hollywood land. And then yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just a fun little area. I've always loved it. It's just overall a good spot. I don't know.
I feel ya. And let's talk about that a little bit more because that's my number 9.
Hey.
Hollywoodland. So, it's funny. I've heard even Fresh Baked, which, you know, we love Fresh Baked. He doesn't really care for Hollywoodland at all. But yeah, which is crazy.
What?
But I think what made me love this land even more was the connection of Buena Vista Street right there. I think before, when it was just like this weird, I don't even know what it was called before. It was just a weird entrance way to California Adventure. And then you go like back in time to Hollywoodland. It was weird, but now with it conjoined next to Buena Vista Street, I think it's just like kind of an extension of that. There's shops along the way that are really, really great. Off the Page, absolutely love the music, the trolley. I know that Guardians Mission Breakout is now in Avengers, but I've always had a fond memory of going down Hollywoodland, seeing that fake little sky there, but then turning right and seeing the Tower of Terror right there. And also the shows at that theater is always so great. And then I love the little behind area with Monsters Inc. So great. And yeah, it definitely needed to be on that list. So that's my number 9.
All right, cool.
Where are you going?
Well, we had a reverse order here because my next is Grizzly Peak.
Grizzly Peak, I love it.
Yeah. I mean, you touched on a lot of it already, but yeah, it's just such a peaceful vibe to me walking around through there. Soarin' obviously is a highlight, but just walking along that pathway leading through there where Soarin' is, and then on to where Grand Californian is,
so beautiful.
And then the what is it called? Like the part, like the playground.
It's
Russell's.
It's like Russell and Doug's Explore.
It's like a park, yeah.
Wilderness Exploration. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. I love just that
Super
whole
cute.
area. It's just very outdoorsy. You feel like you're like camping. Like what?
Our son walks and climbs now. He could probably do that when
yeah, he's gonna have a blast there. I'm pretty sure. Definitely gonna probably take him there to get some energy out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very nice, peaceful, outdoorsy part of the parks that you don't really get anywhere else. It's really the only area that has that feel. Yeah, it's like outdoorsy and very like serene. Ties in so well with the Grand California because it also feels like the Awani at Yosemite.
Yeah.
It's just a very like outdoorsy.
Oh yeah, it's so peaceful. Everything's calm. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
So, what is your number 8?
Yeah, so my number 8 is going to be Galaxy's Edge. So, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars so much. Cantina, super amazing. I mean, seeing the Millennium Falcon in person, so great. Rise of the Resistance, like one of the best rides ever. It might surprise some people that it's a little bit lower on this list.
I'm actually a little surprised.
I know. So I think that the original plans for the park, where you're going to have like, robots and, like different characters dressed up, like not just dressed up, but like aliens and all that stuff, walking around the parks. That's what their original plan was. And then it opened and we didn't have that. And so it was just very, very, very open, very kind of separated from each other. There's certain areas that are really, really cool. And I love, some of the walkways, but sometimes it feels a little bit empty. And I think they did that on purpose to make sure that all the crowds had some space to breathe and everything. But I think I was wanting some more, robots and aliens and all that stuff. So that's why It was number 8 for me.
All right.
Yeah. How about you?
Nice.
Number 7.
7 for me is going to be Frontierland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I absolutely love Frontierland. I always use the word nostalgic, but it's just so nostalgic.
Yeah.
And I just love Thunder Mountain, obviously, and Golden Horseshoe. It's just, just the Western, like Old West feel of it. Just, I love it. I love just to hang out there, and I feel like we always like take a little break like on a bench outside of Thunder Mountain, and it's just kind of our like, just rest and recuperate a little bit. Yeah. Also, it's where we've met the clapper of Disneyland. If you don't know who he is, look him up on YouTube.
Yeah, his name is Peter. He's just known as the clapper. Yeah,
he's this old man who goes to the park every single day. The cast members know him. Lots of guests know him. He has this handshake that he does. I can't remember it right now. I used to know it. I can't do it on camera. Yeah. But if you like call out to him or... Yeah. He walks around kind of doing that. And if you hear it and like do it back to him, which you did one time, he'll like find you and come up to you and like do this whole handshake thing. He's a great, sweet man.
He's the sweetest guy ever. Yeah.
He's so kind. And we met him like once or twice, I think, there. He's always outside Thunder Mountain.
So Thunder Mountain's his favorite ride, I heard.
Yeah.
Which is so awesome that I don't know
how old he is. 70s or 80s probably.
Yeah. Your old man loves Thunder Mountain.
Yeah.
So cool.
And he's always there. So I think we've met him at least once or twice in Frontierland. And I think that's always going to stick out in my memory of Frontierland.
Oh, Peter. Oh my gosh, the clapper.
Man.
Super cool. Find videos of him. He is literally the sweetest. Yeah, Peter is so awesome. So, my number 7 is also Frontierland.
Oh, cool.
Some of my highlights here, the Golden Horseshoe is always the perfect spot to take a break in the heat of the day. And then also Thunder Mountain, obviously amazing. I love the walkway, especially now after Galaxy's Edge is open. The red rocks that they put in there, so beautiful. So that is my number 7. Yeah. What's your number 6?
My number 6 is going to be Buena Vista Street.
Ooh, yeah. I love Buena Vista.
It could have made it higher on my list. I mean, I made my list kind of quick, and it's like, I could rearrange stuff at any point and have it be a different list, but Buena Vista Street was the perfect way for them to change the entrance to California Adventure. I mean, back when I first visited, it was the old version.
Yeah, it's like...
And it was like, it was cool. It was all I knew at the time, so I wasn't like really, phased by it or anything. But when it switched to Buena Vista Street, I love it so much. I love entering California Adventure and just feeling like I'm back in the day when Walt came to California and started his dream, It just feels like you're in that time in history, and all those shops are the best. I love all of the shops along Buena Vista Street. Go in there every single time and you usually end up buying something. I just love it. And it ends obviously at Carthay Circle, which is quintessential Snow White premiere, I love how well they replicated that.
Yeah, it's so awesome. Oh, I love it. So my number 6 is going to be Cars Land, Radiator Springs. Nice. This is one of my favorite places in all of California Adventure. I love the double experience you get. You go there in the daytime, super, super fun, super great. Feels like that old, kind of forgotten town along Route 66. But then at nighttime, it comes alive with those neon lights. I feel like that's the only land that feels like a totally new land at night. And I love it. I mean, in Disneyland and in Disney World, you have Pandora that really switches things up too.
Oh yeah.
Love it. But Cars Land is just so great. It has one of the best rides in Disneyland. I mean, Radiator Springs is incredible. I don't really go on the other 2 rides that often, but just being in Radiator Springs is the best. So that is my number 6. What's your number 5?
Well, that would be my number 5.
Hey, nice.
We overlap again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, again, you touched on it. I love morning time and nighttime for sure. My favorite times to be in Cars Land. Starting out my day there is great. We got to go to Flo's Cafe the last time we were there for breakfast, and that was just a fun experience. But nighttime is, totally like a whole different experience. Everything is just lit up. It's like you are truly in Radiator Springs. Like if you watch the movie and go into the park,
it's perfect.
Spot on, perfect. And I just love being in that land.
And the land has made me appreciate the movie even more.
Yeah, me too. Exactly. Actually, I didn't even think about that, but I wasn't really the biggest Cars fan. Like the movies were not a favorite of mine at all, but because of Cars Land,
I want to watch them.
I definitely get the hankering to watch Cars every so often because of being in the land.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the ride. I love the cozy cones. I love everything about it. It's just so well done.
So well done. Yeah. I love it. I
love
it. And my number 5 is your number 6, Buena Vista Street.
Wow.
Totally incredible. I mean, you said it all, right? It's the best thing that they could have done with the remodel. And it's obviously not as good as Main Street, but it is the perfect comparison to Main Street. And I love that they kind of modeled it after each other. You know, it's not like super different, but it has some similarities that really makes you feel as magical as Main Street. And I just absolutely love Buena Vista Street. So good.
Me too. All right. We are on number 4.
Yeah.
My number 4 is going to be Fantasyland. Do we overlap again?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. We're both Fantasyland, but okay, yeah.
Okay.
We'll just go for it. Let's talk about it.
Fantasyland is quintessential Disneyland. Like, I mean, it's at the center of the park where the castle is. It's so many magical feels, you know? I love Fantasyland. Ranking like the Disneyland lands was really hard because all of them are special for totally different reasons. But Fantasyland kind of, ranked a little bit lower than a few others. I still love it to death. And it's so, again, so nostalgic for me because I just have so many memories of like my first time there, like on my trip when I totally fell in love with the park. And I, was there like at night when everything was just lit up and just extra magical, and it holds a special place for that. So it's my number 4.
Yeah, I think 4 was a good spot for it. I mean, obviously it's the most magical. We always have to go into Fantasyland. And that's another one where at nighttime it does change too. It has that extra little magic.
It's my favorite at night.
One reason why it wasn't number 1 is I feel like Fantasyland obviously gets really busy. And so whenever I enter the land, I feel like I'm a little more, hectic, trying to like, okay, so we have to figure out where we want to go because it's, there's tons of people and it's a little bit
where
hectic.
Everyone can bring their kids, so they're in that area to go on those rides.
Yeah.
So it's just a little overcrowded.
It's not as open and as peaceful as some of the other lands. And so, but it had to be, up there a little bit because it is quintessential Disney, especially after the remodel that happened in the 80s. I mean, like the architecture in Fantasyland is absolutely beautiful. And so, it's obviously one of the best. So that is my number 4. Are we going to line up for the next 3?
I don't know.
Okay, what's your number 3?
I mean, we're going to be close because I know that we have some favorites that are the same.
Oh my gosh, what's your 3?
I don't know. We might be reversed here, possibly.
Okay.
Make sure. Okay. My number 3 is New Orleans Square.
Oh, okay. So we do differ. Okay.
Okay. New Orleans Square is so great. Could easily be like a number 1. It's hard to even have put it at 3 because I love it so much. Obviously it holds Pirates and Haunted Mansion. And just being in that area with the music and Blue Bayou and just everything that makes it so special had to rank it high on my list. It could, like, all of my last three almost could have tied for first.
I feel like
but
same here.
It's definitely up there. I love New Orleans Square.
All right. So my number 3 is Main Street, which Main Street, I feel like that's your number 1. So as you enter, Main Street is honestly the best way that they could have ever, started the happiest place on earth, right? Like, it is so perfect. It is so special. You are transported to Walt's hometown, and there's nothing really much more I could say about that. You have that hub in the center leading you, the spokes leading you to the different parks, the different lands, but then you see the castle at the end. I love that about Main Street too, is that, like, you're in, like, Marceline, Missouri when you're walking down, so it feels very old-timey, but then you look in the distance and you see a glimpse of the magic. There's a castle. It's so magical. So I'm gonna have to say, Main Street for my number 3, and your number 2.
My number 2 is Adventureland.
Okay.
Good guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, any of my last 3 could be first, but Adventureland is just the best. I love anything tropical, and the vibe there is very tropical.
The music.
Yeah, the music. Everything is just...
rides.
Yeah, I mean, you got Indiana Jones and Jungle Cruise and obviously Tropical Hideaway now.
Oh my gosh,
and Bengal Barbecue. I don't know. I love it. It's one of my favorite lands. Hard to rank it as second, but I think it ranks second.
Yeah. So Adventureland is my second as well. This is a land that this honestly would have been my first. It's a toss up. I love walking into Adventureland. My favorite ride is Indiana Jones. So that was really hard to rank that second. But yeah, I think they do everything in that land so well. Like, I am really transported to all of that. And I love just having Jungle Cruise, Indiana Jones, the Tarzan treehouse right next to each other, and right next to Bengal Barbecue. I mean, it's like, you can't get better than that. I think why it ranked second was that it was a little bit smaller than my number 1. And so, yeah. And it just feels like it happened so quick.
Yeah.
So,
and then you've got Tiki Room, and you've got
Tropical
Tiki Room.
Oh
Hideaway.
my gosh, yeah, Tropical, yeah.
I feel like those two go hand in hand, and it's just like I'm so glad that they added Tropical Hideaway.
Yeah, because I never went to Aladdin's Oasis. I feel like I never went.
It was a great thing, great addition to Adventureland.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that they expanded on Dole Whips, because obviously everyone loves Dole Whips.
Oh my gosh.
But it was great to have, like, kind of a quick service restaurant dedicated to them and even expanded upon.
And being able to
food.
see the waterway of the jungle cruise, as they pass by. Awesome.
I love it.
So great. Okay, let's talk about Main Street. Let's go, number 1.
Yep, you definitely guessed right. As I was looking at, like, my list of favorites, and then I had to rank them categorically. Is that a word?
Yeah, that sounds good.
I was like, I was going to rank one of the last 2 as first, but then I just realized Main Street is, like, my favorite place to be.
Yeah.
In the park. Like,
it's the start of your
it's the start
day,
of your day and the end of your day.
I
And
love it. Oh my gosh, and the end, yeah.
and it's where, like, parades happen. It's where you watch the fireworks. You can see that castle looming at the end. It's just like, I don't know. There's something about it. And I just imagine Walt creating this street to model, like, where he grew up, and like the fire station and all these things, and
that are the light that's always on.
Exactly.
Is that the fire? That
yeah,
is the fire. Yeah, because that was where his
like,
apartment was. Yeah, it's always on, representing a spirit.
Yeah.
I
mean, how could I not choose that as my number one. Like,
Yeah.
the lands themselves are fantastic and will, could easily be first, but Main Street is just
I feel
where
you.
it's at. I had to.
feel
You were correct in that.
Yeah. I mean, so my number one is going to be New Orleans Square, which it was always Adventureland for the longest time. But then I thought, as I was doing this list, you have two of the most classic Disneyland rides there, right? You have Pirates of the Caribbean and you have Haunted Mansion. And not only just the thing I love about New Orleans Square is, I mean, when you're thinking of the layout of the land, it's so interesting. It's so weird. Like, there's so many like corridors you could kind of take, tiny little streets and lanes that really kind of bring some authenticity and some life to that land. That I absolutely love. I mean, you could see Haunted Mansion from like a couple different angles, you could go like kind of straight there, or you could go like where the mint julep bar is and kind of see it from the back first. And there's just like a whole bunch of cool alleyways that really make it feel so real. And you can't beat having Pirates and Haunted Mansion in the same land. That's and so, and then obviously the music, so incredible. And so the beignets, the gumbo, if you want some gumbo later on in the night, just warm up. And then honestly, you're right next to the Rivers of America, which is really, really cool. But that had to be, but like you said, the top three can definitely be interchangeable, and I wouldn't be sad.
Yeah, same.
I wouldn't be sad about it. So
yeah, they're all special for different reasons.
Yeah, I love it.
Good list.
Good list. Yeah, Disneyland list. That took a little bit because Disneyland is our home.
Yeah.
And we just love it so much. But we should head over to Disney World, which we've only been to Disney World once in 2018.
And the memory is a little hazy because that was, like 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
And, we went for about a week, but it passed so quick and there's just so much I feel like that's kind of a little bit hazy in my memory, but I definitely have things that stand out and are like special memories.
Yeah.
So
let's do this.
Here we go, Disney World. All right, so we're jumping over to Disney World now.
Yeah.
Starting off this list for me, obviously we have 4 parks to choose from and then lands within those parks.
And some parks don't even have that many lands, which is interesting.
Yeah, as we created this list, I was like, this is really hard because there's like huge lands and then like smaller lands, and it's kind of hard to like fit them into the same list because of that.
Yeah, I agree.
But we did it. It may be off a little bit, but we tried. So my number 10 is going to be Sunset Boulevard in Hollywoodland.
Nice.
I'm assuming you have a similar choice. I love it in the sense that Tower of Terror lies at the end of it, and that is like one of my favorite rides of all time, and we don't have it here anymore.
Especially the Disney World one. Yeah, that one is crazy.
Yeah, it's the best. So I loved walking down that Sunset Boulevard, and I loved, obviously seeing Tower of Terror there, and there's some fun shops and restaurants along the way. Yeah. So it's got a fun vibe. And it had a very like Hollywood land, like in California Adventure, like that kind of same feel. So I feel like it held a special place for that reason too.
I agree.
But yeah, it's my number 10.
Yeah, so Sunset Boulevard is my number 10 as well. Similar nice reasons, choice. Because Disney, honestly, their Tower of Terror at Disney World is just so incredible, and it also made me feel that like old timey Hollywood vibe, and so I love that. And then also I believe Rock and Roller Coaster is over there as well, which is such a crazy ride. Actually, when we went to Disney World, I kind of had like this. I had just gotten over like a back problem thing. And
I thought you still had it when we
I
were
might
there.
have still had it, and I remember going on Rock and Roller Coaster. I was like, it's like keep your back straight as possible. Like
don't move.
Yeah,
I remember that. I remember you being paranoid before we got on that ride because you were like, I'm gonna like tweak my back.
And I remember like way back in the day when I was a kid, I would watch videos of Disney World rides, and I always wanted to go on Expedition Everest and Rock and Roller Coaster, and And so I was like, I'm not gonna miss this ride, even though I'm like my back is like a little bit off this week, and so I absolutely love that. And so Sunset Boulevard, just has a really fun vibe, and so that's gonna be my number 10. What's your number 9?
My number 9 is going to be Toy Story Land.
Okay.
I love Toy Story in general. Like, if you listen to our other episodes, you know that like out of Pixar movies, like Toy Story, all 4 of them are my favorite. Like, so much heart in those movies, and having a land finally like dedicated to it was so great to me. And I don't know, I feel like I didn't quite get enough time there to really soak it in. I don't remember what was going on, but maybe the weather was really bad.
The weather was a little bit
and the
rough,
shade situation isn't great there. Maybe that's something they could work on. But I still just loved being there. And obviously Midway Mania is there, which we have here, and I love that ride. And then we got to go on the Slinky Dog Dash,
which was
such a fun ride.
It was great.
It was really fun, and I loved it, and I love that there's a land dedicated to Toy Story now.
I feel you. My number 9 is going to be Futureland. Now that as I'm saying that, I kind of want to rearrange some of this because I think this should go a little bit higher. But so number 9 is going to be Futureland. I mean, honestly, there's nothing more epic about Disney World than Spaceship Earth. The coolest. I mean, it is so great. The ride is absolutely incredible. And then you also have like the seas over there with like Nemo and friends. It was really, really incredible. So it is going to be my number 9. What is your number 8?
All right. Number 8. I need to like keep reviewing.
And guys, this is so hard because we've only been to Disney World once. We only went for 6 days. And
I need
a couple
to relive
of those days we
some
went
of
to
these
Magic
places
Kingdom,
because one time was amazing, but I feel like there was so much that we missed
so much,
and that I would fall in love with if I went again. So we definitely are going to be planning another trip at some point. So my number 8 is going to be Liberty Square.
Ooh, nice.
It's like stepping back in history. Which I thought was just a really cool thing to add into the park. Again, my memory is kind of hazy of it, but I just remember loving how it felt to like walk into like a colonial world, basically, like in Disney World. So Liberty Square was just such a fun addition into the park, and it's where Haunted Mansion is housed now, or I mean over there, and I thought that was really cool. And it's just, I don't know, I really liked being in Liberty Square. I thought it was a great place.
I feel So my number 8 is going to be Tomorrowland. I know I didn't put this on my Disneyland list because I knew I was going to have this on the Disney World list. I like their Tomorrowland a lot. There's just a lot of cool, I mean, honestly, having the People Mover there, so cool that we don't have that, and so I had to have it on the list because of the People Mover. I still like our Space Mountain more. If you disagree, put it in the comments. We'll fight over this. No, but I just really like their Tomorrowland, and they have a Joffrey's there.
Oh yeah,
I love Joffrey's.
That was maybe one of the last Joffrey's that we had on our whole trip.
I know.
So I think we got it every day.
We did. Yeah, Joffrey's is honestly so amazing. So
I wish Disneyland would get some Joffrey's
get it
in here.
Yeah, step up to the plate, get some Joffrey's. So my number 8, is gonna be Tomorrowland. What's your number 7?
My number 7 is Tomorrowland.
Oh, okay. Joffrey's. There we go. No, just kidding.
Again, very like, I feel like old school Tomorrowland feel. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but with poop.
This is the second time you've done poop. With poop? What's poop? What's poop?
People Mover. If you buy those, it sounds... Oh, okay. People Mover. It has People Mover there, and obviously that ride is so special because it's just been around for so long, and getting to ride it the first time when we were there a few years ago was just so amazing. And I really love the Tomorrowland in Disney World.
Yeah.
Obviously, Space Mountain here, have to say, is much better.
Yeah.
Not a favorite over there, but the land itself was pretty great.
It's really cool.
And
There's
I love
more
the
to
music.
see and do. Yeah. It's so awesome. So
Yeah.
my number 7 is actually going to be Toy Story Land.
Nice.
And like I said earlier, I feel like I could have reorganized some of these, but I loved Slinky Dog Dash. I loved just being in a land that's solely dedicated to Toy Story. And I think, in the future they can do some new things to that land that will really just enhance it. Like, I would love to see, I know they had like a big woody.
Did you just go like this?
I know that they had, okay, here we go. I know, they had, like a Buzz Lightyear, a big, what's his name, Woody or whatever. They had like big characters over there, and it would have been cool to have like a little bit of emotion to them, rather than just like a static statue. Kind of make it feel a little more real. But anyways, I love that there was a land dedicated to Toy Story, and so that's why it earns a little bit higher of a spot on mine. All right, so what would your number 6 be?
All right, number 6 for me is going to be Fantasyland.
Mm-hmm.
I love that it feels like, to me at least, like the way that Fantasyland looked like when the park opened.
Yeah, it
like,
totally does.
In a sense, you could say like, oh, it needs some updating, or like it looks too old or something. But in another sense,
Fantasyland's for.
Exactly,
Yeah,
which is where I'm going next. But it just, I don't know, it's cool to have that vibe of like old Fantasyland, And
it's cool to experience that for sure.
Yeah, it was really fun, and I don't know, I really liked it, and I obviously love New Fantasyland where Be Our Guest is, and Ariel, that
the best queue for the shortest line.
Yeah, literally.
In the world.
It's just amazing, that queue. Like,
it's awesome.
I can't believe how well they did the queue. And yet you look at ours here in California Adventure, and it's like literally just like the turnstiles back and forth throughout the entire thing. It's just crazy how they like took the same ride but made the queue completely different.
Yeah, seriously. And they have a Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which is absolutely amazing. But
which
the one thing about Fantasyland is that they don't have Pinocchio. They don't have they don't have Snow White's
really
Scary
just
Adventures.
Like Small World, Peter Pan.
Pooh is there.
Pooh.
And then Mine Train, Ariel.
No, like the teacups, right?
There's teacups, yeah. But they don't have Alice in Wonderland, right?
Yeah.
Which is super interesting.
Yeah.
But still, it's very special, like, in a way. So I feel
the best bathroom within the whole park. The Tangled bathroom is quite good.
Tangled deserves better, but hey, if they make a great bathroom, they'll make a great land or ride. Yeah. So let's turn that.
And it still deserves to be acknowledged.
Okay, so my number 6 is going to be Asia and Animal Kingdom. Okay. I loved Animal Kingdom, and the whole Asia portion of it was so cool. You have Expedition Everest over there. So amazing. The Cali Rapids as well. I might be wrong about this, but I think there was like an animal walkthrough that had like the gorillas and maybe a tiger. I think it was over in Asia. I don't think it was in Africa. But that was super, super awesome. But just Joe Rohde, are you kidding? Joe Rohde has done amazing work on Animal Kingdom. And so Asia had to be up there for me. And so that's my number 6.
All right.
What's your number 5? We're getting top 5.
Top 5.
Last U.S.
Scary.
park.
Okay, my number 5 is going to be Main Street.
Nice.
Which, I already talked about with Disneyland, so I feel like I don't need to go into a lot of detail here because it's the same explanation.
Yeah.
Within Magic Kingdom, quintessential,
Yeah,
like entering the park is where you get in there and see that castle. And we got to see rope drop in Magic Kingdom, which we've never actually done in Disneyland yet.
Yeah, we did when Rise of the Resistance
was opening.
Yeah,
but it was so sad in comparison.
It was and there's no
there was
daytime
nothing
fireworks,
exciting about it. The rope drop in Magic Kingdom was amazing. It was like the best way to enter the park. So I always have that memory attached to Main Street.
Yeah.
Disney World. So number 5 for me.
Yeah, my number 5 is Fantasyland.
Nice.
Like you already talked about. Really, really fun. I think I like our architecture a little bit more in our Fantasyland. But the new Fantasyland edition, super, super cool. Love their Peter Pan queue. The best queue for a Fantasyland ride. And so
I could go on about that.
Yeah, so great. And then like you said, bathrooms incredible. So that is my number 5. What's your number 4?
Okay, my number 4 is going to be Asia, where you were just talking about.
Yeah.
I just love, this is where it got kind of tricky for me in my ranking, because with Epcot and Animal Kingdom, you have like countries and
continents.
Yeah, and it was hard to rank the lands based on that. But Asia and Animal Kingdom was incredible and immersive, and just like you said, Joe Rohde just outdid himself, and it is so well done.
Yeah,
with just, I mean, the way, like, the attention to detail in that park is just insane. Like, I have some photos when we were walking through there, and there's like those like flags hanging up.
The flags, that's so cool.
Like on those wires.
Like the Himalayan area. Yeah.
I mean, it is so insanely well done, and that's another thing that I love to watch on the Imagineering Story on Disney Plus, is when Joe Rohde talks about creating Animal Kingdom, because you see, like, they actually went to all these places to really know how to create these lands, and
I love that.
I mean, he did the most incredible job. So Asia is my number 4. 4. I think it's 4.
Oh, it is 4. Okay, yeah. So my 4, we already talked about this, Liberty Square. And yeah, mine was pretty high up there. I think the reason why was because like Magic Kingdom and Disneyland, they both have very similar lands. And that's why it was cool seeing Liberty Square, because it was like a new park in Magic Kingdom that I hadn't experienced, and taking Haunted Mansion from New Orleans Square and putting it in Liberty Square, changing the architecture of that building to match that colonial kind of vibe. Super, super cool. And so just experiencing like a new land in something that's very similar to Disneyland was really, really cool. I like the whole poop road aspect. If you don't know, the streets are like a certain color, but in the middle of the road, it's just like brown. That's because in colonial times, they just like throw poop on the roads. And they're like, well, we have to make that
known that you were going to talk
brown.
about this part.
And I think it's just so funny that like Disneyland was like, yeah, let's add some poop
into the stream.
Thought that was cool. So the poop brought it from like a number 8 to number 4, I guess. I don't know. No, there were some other cool things over there. Memento Mori, like the Haunted Mansion shaft, like a lot of other cool things there that bring it up there. But yeah, the poop just brings it.
It really brought it home.
Brought it up. Yeah. So what's your number 3? Top 3.
All right, top 3. For me, going back to Animal Kingdom, Africa.
Cool.
Again, just like I said about Asia, just very immersive, very, very, very realistic. I mean, he just killed it creating this land. Like, I don't even know, man. There's just so many things about that land that were just done so well.
Yeah.
And I just remember there's a few memories that stick out to me from our time in Africa. But like at one point there was a woman like walking through the street playing this incredible drum thing, I think, wasn't it?
It's like a string drum instrument.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but I just remember she was playing it and like singing African music, and it was like magical, like literally magical. And I could have just sat there watching her like all day.
Yeah.
So that memory sticks out. And there were also some guys, they were doing like acrobats. Like, I don't even know what they were doing, but it was amazing to watch. And just being in that land felt like you were truly in Africa. I mean, everything was so immersive. I loved it. So
I feel ya. My number 3 is going to be World Showcase. I mean, this was such a fun day going around the World Showcase at Epcot. We drank around the world. We had some food. We went there during the Food and Wine Festival, so we had even extra food there. World Showcase was just absolutely incredible how they were able to, you go into a certain pavilion, you feel like you're there. You walk outside, you go to the next one, you feel like you're transported there. Really, really, really amazing. Absolutely loved it. I think the one reason why it's number 3 and not number 2 was because as a land, I feel like when you walk out of the pavilions, you kind of lose a little bit of that, and then you go into the next one, you get it back, but then you kind of lose it again as you walk, from pavilion to pavilion. And so that's why I put it number 3 instead of number 2, which I feel like was a little bit more fully immersive. But World Showcase is absolutely insane. So I had to put that in my top 3. What's your number 2?
All right, my number 2 is World Showcase.
I just knew that was going to be.
How did you know?
I mean, you were looking at me, you're like...
He knows me pretty well. I loved World Showcase. Like he said, overall, Epcot wasn't my favorite of the parks for sure. Because I thought about it later and I kept trying to figure out what it was about it, because I've always heard everyone talk about Epcot and how incredible it is. And it is, but it doesn't have as much of like the Disney feel to it.
Yeah, so it
being
depends
there.
on
It just depends, the day that you're going to the park, what do you feel? Do you want to just go feel like you're in different countries and drink and eat really great food? Or do you want to feel like you're in Disney,
Yeah.
And so Epcot for me kind of missed the mark in terms of a Disney trip, but it was a great day. Like he said, drinking around the world and feeling like we were in all of those countries was incredible. Because we've been to 1 or 2 of those countries that are within the World Showcase, and it really felt like we were just back there. Just did it so well.
Yeah.
So it definitely needed a high spot on my list. I love the World Showcase for sure.
I love it.
Definitely the best part of Epcot for me.
Yeah, for sure. And so my number 2 is actually going to be Africa and Animal Kingdom. The reason why I ranked this higher than the World Showcase was that I just had some great memories there. I forgot where we ate. I had a great meal there. Had a nice African beer there. The performers all around you, they were great. When we went to World Showcase, we didn't really have a lot of performers there, but in Africa we had multiple performers in the short time that we were there. And then also just I think of there's one building by the water that's just decayed.
Oh yeah,
and kind of broken up. In the Imagineering story, Joe wrote, he talks about it, and I feel like it was a little bit more immersive than the World Showcase, which is crazy to say because the World Showcase is so immersive in all of their pavilions, but for some reason Africa really just stuck out to me, and you could do the safari and everything over there. And so I did have to put that at number 2, but I feel like they're a little bit interchangeable. But should we do our number 1s? All right, so we are now at our number 1 in Walt Disney World. since we both haven't said a certain thing and we're down to number one,
the same answer.
I'm assuming we're never. Yeah, I'm assuming we're.
I think
agreeing.
we have the same answer.
What is your number one?
Pandora.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I feel ya.
All right. So we're just gonna kind of have a conversation
We'll
about
just have a
Pandora.
conversation
Then, 'cause
about
obviously
Pandora.
that's your first.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this before. Like, Avatar the movie is not my favorite movie in the world. Like, I had seen it like a few times, and it was like, okay, cool.
We didn't like the idea. I remember talking to you.
Yeah.
We didn't like the idea that they were making Avatar and Disney. We're like, what are they doing?
Yeah, it made no sense to me at all. It was like, that is like a couple-year-old movie. Like, why are they making a whole land dedicated to it? It just was so dumb to me at the time.
Yeah.
But then we went there a few years ago and saw like how magical that land is.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was no denying like how incredibly they did that land. Like, again, Joe Rohde, who also, if you watch the Imagineering story, was not stoked about this.
Yeah.
Like, they gave him the task of creating this land, and he was like, what am I supposed to do with this, you know? And he managed to create like a masterpiece.
And I love what he said too, where he was like, he didn't understand it at first. He's like, why are we putting this in Animal Kingdom? And then he realized that the movie was all about like conservation, you know, caring for the planet. Then he was like, oh, it does fit here. You know, I love that he was honest and real about that. And then he was like, oh man, it does fit.
Yeah.
And
he did it so well.
Incredible.
That
I mean,
land
the floating
is so
mountains.
yeah, those
How do
floating mountains are
Oh.
it's like an optical illusion. It truly
so
is. It's
awesome.
hard to look at it and not believe that it's real, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like I was sitting there taking pictures of it and videos like forever because I was like, I need to just like look back at this, you know? And obviously Flight of Passage is the coolest ride of all time.
Yeah, and even just like the walkthrough, right? Like the queue.
Yeah.
You see so many different angles of the park, and then as you're in there, you get to experience so much. And even just like the restaurants. I mean, I love Satuli Canteen. I love the bowls that you could get there. They made it feel so foreign, yet still make it so tasty. All the food there.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people don't. I know some people have talked about, you know, Navi River Journey, and they're like, oh, I just wanted some more of that, or like I wanted something more than what it was, but
I still liked it.
I loved it. It was a way to kind of immerse yourself into everything around you. It was kind of like the like finding your zen in Avatar Land, like. And that was cool. And then it has like one of the best animatronics.
I was gonna say that animatronic is insane.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any
insane.
better animatronic in the world
Yeah.
than that one.
So good.
Totally blew me away. I loved that ride. It wasn't obviously anything like Flight of Passage.
I do wish there was like a slight little drop.
Yeah,
Like everyone always says that, like
exciting.
just a little drop.
Something,
but you know
anything to just get your adrenaline going a little bit. But either way, I still think it was awesome. And the colors and just, I don't know. Yeah, it was really a cool ride to me, I thought.
Yeah.
And just in general, at night, Pandora is like totally another world.
Another like Radiator Springs, different at night. Yeah. Bioluminescence.
Yeah. Just totally blew me away.
Yeah.
I love that land. Definitely had to be my number one. I couldn't pass it up.
And you know what? That just makes me. This is I guess a good note to end on. But we just gotta trust Disney sometimes. Like when they were gonna do a Pandora Land, I was like, what are they doing? And then it turned out to be like one of my favorite lands, right? So like sometimes some things might not sound the best, but let's just go at it with an open mind, and maybe we'll love it, just like we do with Pandora. So, yeah, super incredible.
Yeah,
so
I totally agree. I never knew that I was going to love Pandora so much that it would make my number one.
Yeah,
in Disney World,
Crazy.
but here we are.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you guys so much for joining, following along with our 10 favorite from Disneyland and our 10 favorite from Disney World. Please
Quite
let
a
us
journey.
know.
Yeah.
Let us know what you guys would rank your parks. I know this is pretty tough, but we would love to hear from you. We will talk to you guys next week. I believe if everything goes all right, that we are going to be having a very, very special guest next week for our 20th episode ever. Let's hear it. 20.
Woo-hoo!
That's crazy.
It's gonna be really exciting.
It's gonna be so great.
Yeah. Possibly a pretty amazing Disney clothing company will be joining us next week. So
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be so awesome. But anyways, thank you so much again for listening, and we will see you guys next week.
See you next time, guys.
Bye.